It's been about a year since the Trump administration enacted tariffs that have affected just about every part of the auto industry, including the independent repair garage. I'm Automotive News reporter Richard Truett, and this morning we're at Wetmore's in Ferndale, Michigan, just north of Detroit. We're going to shine a light this morning on a part of the industry, the repair industry, that we don't usually talk about, the independent garage. Wetmore's has been here for nearly a century, and in that time they have survived a depression, countless recessions, wars, and other calamities. But these tariffs have really changed the business. Now we're going to meet Chris Lynch, who's the owner of Wetmore's, and he's going to tell us the effect that tariffs have had on Wetmore's. Come on, let's go talk to Chris. Chris, brake jobs are a huge part of Wetmore's business. I've come here for brake jobs. Are you finding in this time when prices are up for everything that some people are being a little bit more selective on their repairs? In other words, if a car needs brakes and shocks, maybe they just get the brakes now and come back later for the shocks?
Absolutely, yeah, because brakes are very important. You got to have brakes to stop the car.
Yeah.
So people understand that, and we'll even let them know that, hey, you know, the shocks are bad and it's kind of bouncing and stuff, but it isn't something that's going to be unsafe, so you don't have to do it. Do what you can afford to do today, and you definitely have to have the brakes done.
But back in, before tariffs and other COVID and other things, maybe they would have gotten both of those jobs bundled at the same time?
Yes, yeah. Expenses would have been a lot less. A brake job a few years ago, if it needed pads and rotors and everything on all four wheels, depending on the car, all the cars are different, it could be about $600. A lot of brake jobs now are $1,000. So yeah, it's almost, in a lot of cars, almost doubled compared to what it was a few years back.
Do you think we'll ever see those prices come back down? Or once they are up, do they tend to just stay there regardless of the political stuff?
I think so. I think they're probably going to stay there and not come down. Maybe they'll come down a little bit, they'll level off, but I don't think they're going to come down much.
Do you get a lot of business from that would normally go to new car dealerships? Because there's a feeling that independent garages are maybe less expensive. Do you get a lot of that business?
Oh yeah, absolutely. People do not want to go back to the dealer because of the expense and stuff. And they would rather go to an independent garage where they know the people and they can trust them and get things done properly with for a lot less money.
Now, in the past, Wetmore's has offered kind of like a menu on parts where you could get maybe an imported part from China or the original equipment part. Are you seeing more people going for the less expensive parts?
Yes, we do. We'll tell people there may be 2 or 3 different choices in the part, and there may be a reman part, and there may be a new part. We can even go out and get used parts. So yeah, we'll price the thing maybe 2 or 3 different ways with different parts to give the people an option about what to do to save money or to get the best part, which is probably the way to go, but a lot of people can't afford it.
The average age of the car on the road today is like 12 and a half, 13 years old, and so there are a lot of cars out there that need repairs. Are you seeing cars that are just maybe too expensive to fix? So these older ones that people are just giving up on?
Yeah, in a little bit. Cars are so expensive to buy now, so people understand that, and they go, if they don't fix the car, what are they going to do about, driving and stuff? So, and they have to go out and buy a new car, and with the interest rates and the price of these new cars, a lot of people are putting in $2, $3, $4 grand into a used car because it's the best way to go.
Chris, are you worried about the future and the prices of parts that you have to buy? Is there a limit to just where people are just going to say, I just can't do this anymore, and maybe go lease a car or do something else?
I don't know. People have to drive, and people like to own their car. I mean, people can lease cars and stuff, but to me, that's not a very economical way to do things about the car repair. It's best to own the car and get the car fixed.
We haven't talked about tires, and of course, tires are another huge part of your business. What has happened to tire prices in the last year or so?
Well, they've gone up. Not a terrible amount in the last year with this tariff from China and stuff, but they've gone up probably 10%, since the last 6 months or so. As far as cost. And a lot of tires now cost $200. So a 10%, 15% increase, can be $25, $30 a tire, which is, times 4 is quite a bit of money.
Are you finding that customers are maybe angry is not the right word, but customers are surprised and shocked when they get a quote from you for something? Because they're, for people who've come here for many years, they have an idea of what a brake job should cost or some tires should cost. And now it's completely in a different area.
Right.
Is there some sticker shock?
Some people are very surprised about some of the new repair cost, and we have to explain to them why, with the tariffs and the situation going on, and this is just the way it is, and unfortunately, this is it.
Have any of the part suppliers that you deal with tried to find local sources for parts? In other words, parts made in the USA that you know of that are not, imported to maybe lower those tariffs?
There's a lot of people that were trying to buy parts that were not in the tariff situation, that were made locally or in the United States or what have you. So there's a lot of that going on too.
Okay. Chris, thank you so much for speaking with us
today.
All right,
no problem. It's good talking to you.
We'll see Wetmore's in the next 100 years.
All right.
All right.
So you set out to figure out the effect of tariffs, not necessarily only on franchise new car dealers, but also on independent shops and dealers and things like that. What did you find out?
Well, Jake, just like the general populace of the United States, dealers are very, very divided over the current political situation. Some dealers are okay with tariffs because they're looking far down the road when manufacturing jobs get reshored to the U.S. and they think that the temporary pain that we're suffering right now is worth it. Other dealers want this crap over with, and I'm sorry for that kind of language, but everyone is really fired up over this particular topic, and let me tell you why. It's such a political hot potato that nobody really wants to talk to us on the record about it. And I understand that because they're running businesses and they don't want to anger their customers. So we really had a hard time getting dealers to tell us what they truly felt, the way we do journalism by quoting people and their names and their stores. So we offered the opportunity for some dealers to talk to us on what we call background. In other words, they'll give us the information, but don't put my name on it. So to be able to do that I felt like getting a real honest appraisal of what dealers are thinking. And no matter where the dealers are on the political spectrum, for or against the current administration, they do agree on this one thing. They want the tariff uncertainty and the foreign policy, all the U-turns and backtracking and daily commotion to stop. It's very hard to run a business when you can't plan for the future. And it may seem kind of weird to think that the tensions with Iran are affecting how people get their cars fixed here, but it is. And let me show you why. Here's a shock I think it's for a Chevrolet truck. Now, it's just a big hunk of metal, right? There's no petroleum in it, right? No, wrong. This is a rubber gator here, and guess what? It takes petroleum to make this. One dealer told me that part of the disruption from all this tension overseas is that some customers are having to wait about a month to get their parts in to get their cars fixed. That's very disruptive to their business. Another issue that popped up this week is that there are certain grades of motor oils that are becoming in short supply and hard to find. And as you know, motor oil is the lifeblood of our industry, not just when you change the oil at the dealership, but also at car factories. They've got to put oil in it to drive them off the line and ship cars. So dealers are just in a tough spot right now.
Have you gotten a sense of what the actual cost has been for these shops or, anyone that you've spoken with? Have they said that they have any kind of ballpark dollar figure on this?
I can't tell you in exactly those terms, but what I can tell you is this. Here's 2 oil filters. Now, if I take my now classic Land Rover Freelander over to the dealer and say, change the oil, this filter that comes from Poland just got 25% more expensive. If I went to an independent shop, this one made in the USA is still $5. This one's probably about 15 or 20. So that's one way that tariffs have hurt, have affected the consumer and maybe hurt the dealer a little bit. The independent garage that I spoke to said he's seen the price of brake rotors basically double, and those are made of steel. So it's one of those things where there's not a one size fits all answer, but generally speaking, prices for everything are up.
Yeah, if you've ever had to replace brake rotors, you know that they're pretty expensive already for most people. And so, doubling the price of that doesn't sound fun, Richard.
Despite all this upheaval, the dealers I spoke to are an optimistic lot. They really are. They have seen. I mean, think about it, Jake. They've seen COVID, the chip shortage, and now this major disruption, and they've made it through. And let me just read a quote that one of the dealers told me. Um, I'm not nervous. We're going to figure this out. There are a lot of smart people and dealers and manufacturers that really care about our business and our customers. I tell my teams we are here for one reason only. We exist to serve the customer. Without them, none of this matters and we wouldn't be here. So I feel like that probably sums up a lot of the way dealers feel. Like this is another big pothole that they're going to get over and figure it out.
How long do you get the sense that dealers can wait and just kind of let this play out? Yeah, do you have a sense of their patience? You said they're hopeful, they're optimistic, but at what point does it start to become really hard?
Well, at this point, there are spot parts shortages. The motor oil thing we're going to have to keep an eye on, and I may have to dig into that a little deeper because a lot of cars use synthetic oil, and boy, if we run out of oil and other essential lubricants, that's really going to be big. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. But right now, I don't feel like there's a whole lot of pain in the system other than higher prices, and I think that. In speaking to dealers, some of the manufacturers have absorbed some of the tariffs so that they don't have to pass on all the costs to the consumer. So automakers are helping out as much as they can where they can.
Well, I was going to ask you about that too, is how much of the price is being passed on to consumers, how much of it is being eaten by the shops themselves, and how much is, our automakers and others helping out. It sounds like you said, that there is some spreading of the cost there. If you had to sort of characterize how much that's actually happening, what would you say?
Well, I know that each automaker does it differently. For instance, Hyundai hasn't passed on any of the tariff costs for anything. They've absorbed it all. It's hard to say, but I do know that no matter what happens with prices, dealers are a very competitive lot. They're going to find a way to keep the prices as affordable as they can because they know at the end of the day that people need their cars, and I think they're working hard to make the situation as tolerable as they can. But if they had one wish, like I said earlier, they want consistency so that they can plan their businesses.